Alright, so welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today I wanted to talk to you about how I am approaching the new 11th edition of Warhammer 40K, because recently I've been really trying to, live more on a budget. I used to have a very big spending habit, still kinda do, but I was always spending money out of the wazoo, and it's time to take a little bit of responsibility. For that, I kinda mapped out how I want to approach 11th edition. Otherwise, I could see myself spend a lot of money. Now, normally this video should release on the day after they launch the Armageddon box. And I must say, even though, yes, technically the Armageddon box is a value box, I am not buying one. Because I just don't want to spend 240 euros on a box right now. I can spend that much money on other things. But there was one item in there that I really wanted, which was the lore book, because I am kind of a sucker for lore. Now, I knew two of my friends who are respectively a Space Marine and Orc player who are going to share the box, and I approached them asking, hey, could I perhaps buy the lore book of you guys? And they said yes, so I'm just going to get the lore book from the box, and that's about it. Second thing I'm probably going to do, and I really need to start looking into it, is I'm going to sell some of my collection. A few months back I already sold my Blood Angels, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm just not playing with at the moment. Haven't touched in months, and I kind of need the space and the money, so I'm probably just going to sell a bunch of it. Okay, now on to the actual step 1, the core rules. I'm getting the core rules book because I really like having physical copies of rules instead of just having to search for them on the internet or in an app. And I really love the fact that it's in such a small format right now that you can just store it away in a bag. No more need to haul a book around of like 5 kilos. I mean, the rule books in the past were just way too big, in my opinion. Sure, there's a lot of lore that's probably not going to be in that book anymore, but then again, just, why? 3/4 of the old rulebooks were always lore, which you didn't really need to play the game, so I'm quite happy they're doing this. Also, the price decrease this brings with it is just wonderful. I can't believe we are getting a cheaper product. I was kind of worried that they were going to also price this as 50 euros, and then I would have kind of righted inside my head. I'm not really a writer, but I'm very happy that they did the price decrease. So step 2 is the chapter approved mission decks and the terrain area set. I feel that together with the core rule book, these are kind of the essentials you need to actually play Warhammer on a good level, not as in a skill level, but as in actually having fun with the game and actually playing the game. And I must say, I've always been a big fan of the physical mission cards. I just like having tangible things, in this age of constant subscriptions and digitalization, it's very easy to just get a copy of something off the internet and just downloading stuff, and I know it's on there for free, but having a tangible thing that you can sell later that I know I have physically is such a nice feeling. I also feel like cards are a way nicer way to randomize stuff instead of letting a computer handle it, because at least I know it's fully random and it's not choice a computer makes, if you catch my meaning. I know technically the computer is also extremely random, but still. Now, the terrain area set is kind of needed because it replaces the objectives of old, but still I'm just going to buy them from Games Workshop because it's much less of a hassle just to get them, and I still think they look quite nice. Now, step number 3, a big step. I'm going to buy a defiler. Yes, I know, blasphemy. I'm an Emperor's Children's player and I don't have a defiler yet. I didn't really buy one last edition because I didn't know what was going to happen with the new edition. Maybe Emperor's Children would get some kind of big change, or the base rules would get some massive change that would kind of make the defiler redundant. But now I do kind of want to get one because I have to admit it's just a sick model and I kind of want to bring one. On my first solo tournament I'm doing in August. That's right, I'm doing a very first solo tournament. And again, I just think they look sick. Step 4 is going to be the Dominatus narrative campaign deck. If you should know anything about me and my Warhammer 40k stuff, it's that I am a sucker for narrative campaigns. Right now we're playing a Maelstrom campaign from the expansions book that came out earlier this year, and I've already finished a Nachmund Gauntlet campaign on which I want to kind of make a video, but seeing as that's 10th edition, you guys should let me know if I should make one. And seeing as how it's a deck right now, I'm very interested to see how it works. My friend I mentioned earlier, who is getting the Space Marines, is also going to get the narrative campaign deck, so hopefully he will start one up soon, so I can kind of see how this deck works, but I do want to get one for myself eventually. Step 5, probably the most important step out there, is I'm going to paint my minis. Yes, I know, we all make those promises that we are going to paint minis before we buy new ones, but I have to say I haven't bought a mini in like half a year or something, and I feel great. And I really just want to focus on painting my unpainted stuff right now. I also have non-Warhammer stuff that I want to paint up. I'm still doing a commission that I've been working on for 1.5 years. Thank God that guy is patient. But then again, it was a Witcher board game with 68 minis, and there are some very detailed ones in there, so I kind of don't want to mess it up. But then again, just gonna paint some stuff and then we'll see what comes next. 2 more extra things that I'm going to keep an eye on, of course, are the new codex for Emperor's Children. Whenever that comes out, I'm going to probably buy one. Again, I like having physical rules in my hands. And then I'm also very interested in the pre-painted official Warhammer terrain, because yes, it's probably going to be extremely expensive, but I have to say, from the little teaser they showed us, they look very nice, and it looks very convenient because I tried painting terrain before and I just don't like it. It's just too monotone. Having pre-painted terrain is very, very handy, but then again, it's probably going to be very expensive, so I might have to save up for that one. Anyway, I'm also wondering how you are going to approach 11th edition. Just let me know down below in the comments. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more Warhammer or from now on also Magic the Gathering content, and I will see you in the next video.